China is vast, covering 7% of the planet's land surface. In this series, I'll explore the country's mountains,
I feel on top of the world,
and grasslands. I'll cross China's greatest deserts and jungles. China is the only country with elephants in the south and reindeer in the north. I'll go in search of them and many other extraordinary and rare creatures. Join me on my adventures in untamed China. Dali, in the province of Yunnan, southwest China.
I've come here to the city of Dali because it's a perfect jumping off spot for some of untamed China's fabulous animals.
In the mountains, there's deadly cobras.
You can see what a beautiful creature this is.
I'll meet a mantis and rare snub-nosed monkeys. Come eyeball to eyeball with a remarkable turtle. Go on an extraordinary fishing trip.
Hey!
And dodge a pit viper.
Oh!
Yunnan is known as the Kingdom of Animals because over half of China's plant and animal species are found in the province. For my first encounters with Yunnan's special creatures, I take a drive to Wuliangshan Reserve, a couple of 100 kilometers from Dali. My destination is nestled high in the Wuliang Mountains. Few visitors come to this remote spot, so I'm an unusual sight for the locals, probably the first Englishman they've ever seen. At around 2,000 meters we enter the reserve. It's a wilderness of evergreen broadleaf forest and picturesque waterfalls. A subtropical climate helps make these mountains a paradise for two of my favourite groups of animals.
I can hardly contain my excitement about staying here because in this area there's more kinds of reptiles and amphibians than anywhere else in the country. There's bizarre toads, cobras and other beautiful snakes, as well as one of the strangest turtles on the planet.
There's no time to lose. I need to crack on and see what's about. On this search, I carry a snake hook, which is handy for dealing with venomous species. Snakes can turn up anywhere, but now in May, many of the toads, frogs and salamanders will be close to water for the breeding season. So this is a great place to search.
There's a little stream seeping down this slope. Damp areas like this are good for amphibians. And there, a movement. Jumping away from me, the wartiest toad that I have ever seen. The giant fire-belly toad. These warts are poisonous. It's called a fire-belly because of this. Bright orange patches on its tummy, and if this creature is attacked by a predator, it turns, gets into a strange yoga position and flashes this bright orange coloration. That's a warning to predators that it's distasteful and poisonous. Wuliangshan is certainly living up to its reputation as a hotspot for amphibians. I've only been searching for a couple of minutes and found this beautiful toad. And fingers crossed, we'll find some reptiles too.
The fire-belly will spawn in shallow water, laying up to 300 eggs. My eyes are glued to the forest floor for anything that stands out from the background. After many years of searching for snakes, I have a good eye for picking out their patterns and shape.
Listen, parakeets, just see them moving in the top of that tree.
They're Lord Derby's parakeets. I can only spot one or two, but from what I can hear, there are more hidden amongst the foliage. These parakeets are usually found in flocks of 40 or so. Males have bright red bills, The female's beaks are black. Eyes to the floor once again. Sunny patches next to the path are a draw for sun-loving snakes.
Cobra! There, basking. Oh, this is a monocled cobra. You can see this very distinct mark on the hood. This is a sacred snake to the Buddhists of Burma and Thailand. They believe the mark on the back of the neck is the thumbprint of the Buddha. As you can see, they're not aggressive snakes. This posture is a warning. It wants to save its venom for catching prey. It doesn't want to waste it on me or the cameraman. But if it did bite, the venom is neurotoxic. It would affect my nervous system. There's also some cytotoxic elements. Those would break down my tissue. But it's not paying any attention to me. It's watching its reflection in the camera. And sometimes it's very useful having a film crew travelling with you. If I get the sound man Matthew to use his boom to attract its attention, there we go. These snakes are very alert to any movement. With a sound boom there, attracting its attention, I should be able to put my hand underneath. As long as there's movement, as long as it doesn't see me, this is not risky at all. And you can see the length of this beautiful snake now, a little hiss. Now I'm gently supporting her. You can get a real idea of this cobra's size. I'm 1.90 m in height.
She's about 1.5 meters long.
The biggest monocled cobras can grow much longer than that, to 2.3 meters. Oh, keep that boom moving. But this is absolutely astonishing. It's constantly watching the movement. As long as the snake remains interested in that sound boom, I'm in no danger. The reason these magnificent reptiles became rare in China is because in the past people used to believe that fresh blood from a cobra mixed with wine would help their sight. Stuff and nonsense, of course. Few Chinese people believe that today. So hopefully cobra numbers will recover. That's great news for the farmers, because cobras eat crop-destroying rats and mice.
Coming up, I go to meet one of the planet's most peculiar turtles. And a pit viper,
Look at this beauty.
gives me a scare.
Oh!
I'm in Wuliangshan Reserve in late spring, the prime time for amphibians and reptiles. There's over 100 species of them here, more than anywhere else in China.
Today I'm hoping to show you one of the strangest turtles on Earth.
This mysterious reptile inhabits mountain streams. En route to check some likely hiding places, a mountaineer heaves into view.
There, the most beautiful mouse catcher on Earth, a mandarin rat snake. No need for me to catch this one. We can get a perfect view of it as it's climbing out in the open. A harmless constrictor. It grabs its prey, then throws 1 or 2 coils around it. Once the prey is suffocated, it swallows it whole. Exquisite markings, saddles of yellow and black. The way it is climbing that sheer rock face, using its big belly scales to get a grip, it's literally scaling the wall there. It's remarkable how muscular snakes are. The tail is just hanging straight in mid-air, These snakes are found in the mountains in China, up to 3,000 meters. The way it conquered that cliff face, what a great ascent.
The outrageous turtle I'm tracking down spends the day underwater, wedged in a rocky cleft or dug down in gravel.
This is a perfect spot. Look at that. That grab was a mistake. Let go. Oh dear. This is a fabulous big-headed turtle. That was really painful. As you can see, unlike most turtles, it can't retract its head into its carapace, which is why it defends itself by biting. It's got a delightful Latin name, Platysternum megacephalum, which means big-headed flat chest. You can see exactly why that's appropriate. Such a peculiar reptile. He looks like he's been assembled from the mismatched and poorly sized parts of other turtles. Don't you? Don't bite my nose. Beautiful eyes. Doesn't like it too hot, which is why it's found in these cool mountain streams in southern China. They spend most of the day hiding in rock crevices, come out in the evening to feed. And as I found out, this beak and sharp-edged jaws are really powerful. It can crush shellfish and crustaceans. Big-headed turtles aren't strong swimmers, but they have some skills you just wouldn't expect in a turtle. Just like the Mandarin rat snake, they're amazing climbers. They can ascend waterfalls and rapids using their long tails as a climbing aid. The tail is so muscular it can support the whole weight of the turtle. They've even been seen climbing up into trees. I'm sure this rocky chasm is home to other cold-blooded creatures, but many of them are only abroad after sunset. That's because amphibians are a favourite food of predatory birds, so they hole up by day, only emerging at night when many birds are asleep. But I'm staying awake to see what I can find creeping around in the dark. There could be creatures concealed anywhere here. This scree slope has plenty of perfect hidey holes. Other animals could be closer to the stream edge. There's something moving. It's not an amphibian, but it is certainly, don't pinch me, it's certainly amphibious. This is a crab that has never seen the sea. We're hundreds of kilometres away from salt water. These freshwater crabs have had to change their life cycle to survive in environments like this. Their marine cousins produce hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of eggs that float away in the plankton as tiny larvae and then grow and develop into small crabs. But the ones that live in fresh water have only a few relatively large eggs. The female carries them under her tummy. When they hatch out, they're miniature replicas of the adult. And mum even looks after her babies for a couple of weeks after they've emerged from the eggs.
If freshwater crabs didn't keep a hold on their young, each new generation would be washed downstream and out to sea.
There we go. There you are. This is a super amphibian. It's called the Himalayan knobby newt. They get their name because of all the bumps along the sides of their body. Their real claim to fame is how they defend themselves in a tight spot. If they're attacked by a predator, they arch their bodies and actually stick their spiny ribs through their skin. The predator gets a mouthful of spines, spits them out, and the salamander gets away unscathed. Another of Wu Liangshan's spectacular amphibians. go.
Some creatures that are well camouflaged by day stand out like a sore thumb in the beam of a torch. I scan the branches overhanging the path in the hope my light will reveal something lurking in the dark.
Snake, look at this beauty. This is a Yunnan bamboo pit viper. It's a little boy. I can tell that because it's got a beautiful line of cream and brown all along its body. A female would be all green. This guy would be lying in wait for any prey that comes close to it, a frog, a bird, or a small mammal. They've got an incredible heat detection system. There's heat-sensitive pits between the eye and the nostril so he can see the body heat of his prey or potential threats like me, but of course I'm not going to hurt him. If he can find a female... Oh! There we go, he's noticed me, you see. A little strike. As I was saying before he struck at me, if he can find a female, they'll mate and she'll go off and lay between 3 and 8 eggs. He's starting to move now. He's getting a bit close again. I'm going to leave him to his ambush. Okay, good luck. Whoa!
Brilliant stuff. Over the last few days, I've marvelled at some of Wu Liangshan's slimy and scaly treasures. Now it's time to return to Dali to meet some other tremendous creatures that live right next to the city. In the west of Yunnan province, Dali lies at the foot of the 4,000-metre Jade Green Mountains on the western edge of Lake Erhai. Some 3,000 years ago, the Bai people settled in this area. They're famous for their flamboyant costumes and buildings. Today, the city attracts couples from all over China who come here for romance and even to be married. One Bai legend of star-crossed lovers and beautiful insects really adds to the allure of Dali for the romantic at heart. A wooded valley, Butterfly Spring, is the setting for this tale of true love.
The story goes that Wengu, a beautiful Bai maiden, and her young lover committed suicide by drowning to escape the clutches of an evil lord. Every year their spirits reappear as a pair of butterflies.
The legend lives on in Chinese peacocks, paper kites and blue crows, just 3 of the 20 species of butterfly that reappear here every summer. To my mind, the real life cycle of butterflies is as magical as any fairy tale. These common mormons perform an exquisite courtship dance. After mating, a butterfly lays up to 1,000 golden eggs. She's identified the plant by using chemical receptors on her front legs, making sure the leaves will be to the taste of her caterpillars when they hatch. The female carefully glues each egg to the leaf. In a few days, the caterpillars will hatch. The eggshell is their first meal. Starting as they mean to go on, the hungry caterpillars do little else but eat. In a single day, they can consume twice their weight. The most magical chapter of the story comes next. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar's body is dismantled, and in a magical metamorphosis, a new body, that of a butterfly, is assembled. A sleeping beauty awakes. The blue tiger takes 20 to 30 minutes to pump up her wings. To achieve this feat, she swallows air and increases her blood pressure by 15 times. It's remarkable. A fat, clumsy caterpillar is now a dainty, acrobatic butterfly. But life on the wing can be precarious. Coming up, I meet a predator that eats butterflies alive. And go on a fishing trip with cormorants. I'm in Dali, meeting creatures that live in and around the city. It's in Yunnan, a Chinese province so rich in wildlife, it's known as the Kingdom of Animals. There's around 130,000 species of insects in China. 2/3 of them are found here in Yunnan. I'm exploring a magical valley brimming with butterflies.
This is absolute bliss. Butterfly watching with a cool drink. This is a speciality drink of the Dali region. Walnut juice, it's sweet and delicious. Butterflies, of course, rely on sugary drinks to survive. They can't eat solid food.
They have a perfect built-in straw, the proboscis. Between meals, it's coiled up under the butterfly's face. When it's unfurled, the tongue can be 3 times the length of the butterfly's body. As the insects suck up sweet nectar, they provide a service for the flower in return, transferring pollen from one bloom to the next.
Being a butterfly seems idyllic and carefree, flitting from flower to flower, sipping nectar. But there can be danger lurking in the blooms. Look at this, one of my favourite insects, a praying mantis.
And I'm not their only fan.
It seems mantids have been popular with people for a long time.
The first ever reference to them was in a raya, an ancient Chinese dictionary written over 2,000 years ago.
They said the mantis was brave and courageous. He's watching my every move. Mantids have got big eyes, great eyesight, long flexible necks so they can swivel their heads to look at anything that attracts their attention.
I'm really close, but the mantis continues cleaning its weapons. It's fearless.
Their other quality is patience. They wait and wait until prey comes close enough.
A rice paper butterfly. This isn't a good time to be all of a flutter. In a fraction of a second, the mantis flashes out its front legs, impaling the butterfly on long spikes. As he's eaten alive, the butterfly sticks out his hair pencils. In happier times, he'd use them during courtship to waft his perfume towards a female. But his courting days are over. The butterfly is methodically nibbled into pieces. The mantis has a narrow gullet and can only swallow tiny morsels of food. These predators don't just eat other insects. They'll catch frogs and lizards. They've even been known to snatch birds from the air. It's not only mantids that butterflies have to watch out for. Other predators set ingenious traps to catch them. With combs on its hind legs, a spider draws out threads from its silk glands. It's making an orb web, surely one of nature's most wondrous creations. I've never seen so many golden orb-weaving spiders as here in Dali. Stretching between twigs and branches, their sticky snares can be a metre across. Spiders don't get stuck in their own webs because they coat their bodies and feet in an oily substance that makes them non-stick. A butterfly, though, will stick fast. The spider quickly bites the butterfly, injecting venom to paralyze its victim. The spider injects digestive enzymes to liquefy the tissues of its prey. The result is a butterfly soup, which the spider sucks up with relish. After eating its fill, the spider will make a doggy bag of the leftovers, wrapping them in a silken parcel to be eaten later. Butterflies are fast breeders, so the predators don't make too much of a dent in their numbers. That's good news for me, because seeing butterflies really makes my spirits soar. This view of Lake Erhai is uplifting too. It's one of the largest lakes in China. The Bai people living on its shore feel a special connection with the earth and nature. To honour their ancestors and display their prosperity, they extravagantly decorate their front doors with painted flowers and animals. Cranes are a symbol of long life and happiness, while carp are believed to attract success and good fortune. The hats of the Bai women symbolise a crescent moon rising over Lake Erhai. The inland sea is very important to them. Much of their food is either grown in the rich soil surrounding Erhai or comes directly from the lake itself. Freshwater snails are winkled from their shells. There's plenty of fish too. I'm here to investigate the remarkable way some of them are caught. This is such a colourful scene. The Bai people wear their national costume for everyday life, not just for tourists. Ni hao. They also have a wonderful working relationship with some wild things. Cormorants. These birds have been tamed and live in enclosures with a lake view. Some even breed in captivity. This one is in two minds about whether it should add a spoon to its nearby nest. Lake Erhai is just a stone's throw away, so the birds don't have far to go to work. Cormorants that are 2 to 10 years old are in the prime of life for catching fish. I joined this expert team on a fishing trip. Mr. Yang's preparing his fisherman, ties a bit of straw around the neck, otherwise the cormorants would swallow every single fish that they catch. Just loosely tied. The cormorants need a little encouragement to take the plunge. Splashing the water, making a lot of noise, gets the birds excited, and hopefully they'll start fishing. Down they go, they're such superb swimmers. really feel part of history doing this. Fishing with cormorants has a long tradition in China. They've been doing it for over 1,500 years. Seems like there's not many fish here, so Mr. Yang's calling the cormorants back. Having a wash and brush up before they jump back onto the boat. This one wants to come aboard. Let's give him a helping beak. There we go. You're getting tired, are you? This is terrific. I'm surrounded by cormorants drying off in the sun. Unlike most other birds, they don't have oil on their feathers to repel water. That means they can move faster when they're hunting fish. But it also means they get soaked to the skin. So after a fishing trip, they've got to dry themselves off, and they do that by spreading their wings. You're warming up okay, aren't you? This is Daigon Z. He's the leader of this cormorant fleet. 7 years old. When he goes into the water fishing, the other birds follow him. But so far, you haven't had any luck, have you? Now they've dried off, we're going to try a different fishing ground. Fishing with cormorants became a royal sport in England in the early 1600s. King James I had his own group of birds. The king spent quite a lot of money on his pastime. He had custom-built cormorant ponds built on the site of what is now the Houses of Parliament. Mr. Yang and the team are going to have another try. In you go. There we go. In this new location, the birds seem to be staying underwater for longer, which must be a good sign. And there we are. Got one here. There, and it's big. Thank you. Look at the size of that fish. Well done. Cormorants know that their prize will be taken away, but they also know they'll get a reward. They got another. He's holding on tight. Well done, boy. You'll get your reward. Brilliant. They're doing well, aren't they? Well done, Mr. Young. They've got hook beaks, so they don't want to let go of their prize. Hey! He's holding on to his prize, but what a big fish! Come on, let go. Wow! You'll get a reward later, thank you very much. Number 4! What a fantastic group of fishermen you are. I stink of fish, I'm covered in fish scales, but I wouldn't have missed this for anything. Going out with Daigon Z, the lead cormorant, Mr. Yang and the rest of his fishing team, it's been a privilege indeed. Old-fashioned methods of fishing have sadly declined across China, so it's great to see traditions being kept alive on Lake Erhai. When I step ashore, I'll just have time for a quick shower to wash away the fishy aroma before heading to higher ground. For my final adventure, I want to meet an animal that's the symbol for this province, the Yunnan snub-nosed monkey. I say goodbye to the city of Dali. Now I'm hoping to lay eyes on a mysterious creature that's never been seen outside of China, not even in a zoo. I'm travelling to the Yunling Mountains in the far northwest of the province. These peaks stretch westwards into Tibet, foothills of the mighty Himalayas. Baimar Shuishan is one of 20 peaks that tower over 5,000 metres. It gives its name to a nature reserve set up to protect the endangered animal I'm on my way to find.
On my last stop from the city of Dali, I've come to these beautiful mountains to see a wondrous creature that the local people call the Spirit of the Snow.
They've given the animal that name because its home is at high elevations, where winter snowfalls are common. It can live higher than any other primate except humans.
Here they are. Let me introduce you to a troop of Yunnan snub-nosed monkeys.
The sexes look the same, but the males are 1.5 times larger than the females. The babies are born white, becoming grey after a year or two.
There's snub-noses all around me now.
These monkeys are just as comfortable on the ground, spending 20% of their time there. It seems the group are coming to meet me. Provisioned with food here, they've become used to people and allow me to approach them closely. There are 3 species of snub-nosed monkey in China.
They get their name because of these strange noses.
There's no bones inside and their nostrils are upturned.
This is a male. I can tell that by this real quiff of hair on the top of his head, a big mane of black hair down his back, and a mass of white fur on the thighs.
Both the males and females have a facial feature to make models and actresses green with envy.
I've never seen more luscious lips on any other animal. All real, of course, no collagen implants there. This one's tucking into a meal of lichen, really tough fibrous food, but they've got special stomachs to cope with that. In the winter, lichen makes up 90% of the diet of the snub-noses that live at the higher altitudes.
Populations like this one that live at lower elevations still relish lichen, but they tuck into many other types of food too. Snub-noses sample up to 60 species of plant, eating the leaves, flowers and fruits. A family unit usually feeds together. 2 to 5 females and their young travel with a dominant male. Family groups can join together, forming bands of up to 200 individuals. Though nowadays Yunnan snub-noses are so rare that really large gatherings are unusual. Less than 2,000 of these beautiful monkeys remain. Female snub-noses spend an hour or 2 each day grooming. As well as reinforcing bonds between individuals, the habit allows monkeys to pick off parasites and salt from each other's skin. The males don't groom so frequently and spend more time alone. So I'm honoured this big male has let me accompany him for most of the day. In fact, he now takes me for granted, treating me like part of the furniture.
Hey!
When my friend gets close to another male, there's fireworks. This posturing rarely leads to serious fights, although it makes the whole family uncomfortable. I feel a little awkward myself, being here during a family squabble.
These monkeys have really long tails to help them balance when they do their spectacular climbs and leaps.
To me, these acrobatics seem death-defying, but the snub-noses take them in their stride. The monkeys start learning gymnastics at a very young age.
There's a bundle of babies playing over there. Yunnan snub-noses only have one baby.
Born in the spring, these youngsters are a little over 6 months old.
Got tired of all the rough and tumble, gone back to mum for a cuddle and a suckle of milk. He's now off to play again. He didn't rest for long, and he's hanging from her tail.
I'm elated that the future seems brighter for these gorgeous monkeys. The precious old-growth forests where they live and the snub-noses themselves are now fully protected.
Spending time with these fabulous monkeys is a fine end to my travels from Dali. Next time I'll be in the deserts of northern China.
40% of China's land area is arid and dry. Many desert creatures come out after dark.
Przewalski's frog-eyed gecko, the gorgeous long-eared hedgehog,
And making its debut on television, the peculiar long-eared jerboa. I'll go on a desert expedition to meet some of China's rarest mammals. Przewalski's horses and Bactrian camels. I really hope you can join me on these arid adventures.
Bye for now.